Yeah, there would be.
I'm always on time. I'm ahead of the game. I'm first place. I'm in my prime. Hard work that pays off. I pay dues. I'm paid off. Cross me, get crossed off. I'm so fresh. I'm so raw. Go hard like A-Day. It's game time like game day.
This season, watch the Hungry Jacks NBL take it to the next level.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
As the NBL Blitz rolls into day 6, we take it on the road and take the Blitz to the community of Tasmania as we come to you live tonight from the Ulverston Sports Arena in the beautiful Apple Isle. We've got the Bullets and the Wildcats going head-to-head, and one of the NBL's biggest off-season recruits make his debut for the Wildcats tonight. Hello and welcome. Jack Heverin joined in commentary by the one and only Pete Hooley. Hools, great to see you, and we get our first look at Michael Fraser tonight.
Really looking forward to this. This is a matchup we're going to look forward to in the regular season. We get a little bit of preview in the Blitz. Vic Law playing against his old team. No Nathan Sobey for the Bullets tonight. He will be rested. But our first pretty semi-full strength, and missing Mitch Norton, obviously, and Todd Blanchfield. But you get 3 imports. Bryce Cotton's had a game under his belt. Looking forward to this one.
So Cotton, Travers, Law, Hodgson. Starters on the floor for the Wildcats. There's Law in the low block. And the other starter, Kevin White, tonight for Perth. He gets the first look at it, and it's good.
Well, good knockdown. Obviously going straight into Vic Law, no surprise, playing against his old team. A little talk, bit of fun back and forth banter in the off-season between the Bullets and Vic Law, and trying to get him involved early and often.
As Patterson throws that out of bounds. Brisbane starters, Lamar Patterson, Nathan Sobey not playing, I should say, Robert Franks, Anthony Drimmick, Tanner Krebs, the Tasmanian, into the starting lineup tonight, as well as Terrell Harrison in the middle. Travers hands off to Hodgson at the top of the key. Now Cotton on the wraparound. Rebound by Robert Franks, who made a good start, 16-7 in game 1. Brisbane's win over Tasmania. Now Harrison against his former teammate Hodgson. Faces up and gets to his left hand, extends over the top. Can't finish off. Second game for the Wildcats, Pete. They played on Tuesday against Adelaide in, I think it's fair to say, a low-scoring scrap. They lost 63-58.
Good take there from Kevin White, just misses. Luke Travers tries to clean it up and go to the line. And yeah, they're going to take some adjusting. Obviously, every team does, but they only had about 48 hours with their head coach. Mike Kelly's been there to really figure out and set the tone of how they want to play. But new coach, you've got new players. Vic Law's coming in. They haven't had their full strength lineup. As we talked about tonight, it'll be the first time we can see all the 3 imports. But it's going to be an exciting year once again for Perth. And we sound like a broken record with all that, and hopefully we can see some little flashes of that here. Bryce Cotton, just good to see him back out there, especially after what happened last year with that injury and potential scares of that. And 3 of 14 in his first game back. I'm sure he just loved the fact that he was out there and running around.
I think we all agree that the Wildcats aren't going to score 58 in too many games across the NBL 22 season.
Well, they shouldn't do that here. Ulverston Arena, this little arena here, it's a good shooter's gym.
Is it really, Pete?
Not bad here.
Did you have a couple of 30 pieces here, did you?
It's a Toro Harrison's going to get on the board here, and it's a nice one. Good to see the community of Tasmania out here. It's more than just obviously about Hobart, and good to see the community embrace this and get to see some high-level NBL action.
It's definitely not what you said to me before the game. This Law had room to pull up for the jump shot. No good. Lamar Patterson, who has had an off-season that's been spoken about for the right reasons this time around. There's been some questions about Lamar and his conditioning, particularly last season, but stayed in Australia this time, Pete. Jason Cadee the other day spoke about it and said that Lamar knows that last year wasn't to the level, but this year he's been fantastic. Extra pass from Krebs has Drimmick for three.
Really nice ball movement set up by the penetration of Lamar Patterson. Absolutely, we're talking about a couple of years ago, a man who was in the MVP caliber conversation and had a really good season. So we're expecting these things from him this year, and I think he will come out and say that he wasn't at his best last year, and staying around and putting his foot right and doing the right things, and to have your teammates back that up, like Jason Cadee says. Luke Travers. Great pass, Franks, to get the nice easy two. That's what you want as Lamar Patterson trying to get back to his groove. You want to have that support from your teammates.
It's Travis growing in confidence every time we see him. Shot clock winding down here for Brisbane. So those points will count for Anthony Drimmick. Tough move.
See Drew moving around well, that off-season surgery and rehab nice and come out ready for a big NBL 22 is Hodgie, another former Bullet, lining up against his old team.
I think Harrison knew exactly what side Matt Hodgson was going to then. Patterson uses the Harrison screen. This time Tanner Krebs open in a corner. There's Harrison to put it back in. (7-6) early stages of the opening quarter. Beautiful, intimate venue in Ulverston. Sports and Leisure Centre, as Pete said, taking the blitz right across Tassie. Great chance for the fans to see stars like Lamar Patterson up close.
That's a tough move from Lamar Patterson. A really unwarranted, unnecessary spin. He had Luke Travers beat. Could have a little finger all over the front of the rim, but instead turns it into a nice, tough spin fadeaway. And as you said, it's good. And the Tassie Jack Jumpers have done really well at getting out into the community around Tasmania. I think they spent, it was about 2 weeks going around all Tasmania and visiting a bunch of different schools and communities and just building up the hype. And the hype is very real with what we've seen from a couple of high-flying action down there.
Well, the other thing I think with the Jack Jumpers is for them to have had a win in this early in the Blitz. It's a sellout for the first game anyway. It's sold out in 2 hours for December the 3rd. But to get a win, create a little more hype, I think that was a really good thing for the JJs.
Oh, absolutely.
Can we call them the JJs?
I think so. I think it's something that will stick. Every team needs a little nickname. But no, it is going to be really good. And again, a lot of these teams are going to be playing each other in those first few rounds. We have those two separate little kind of conferences, I guess, to start with all the border restrictions. So get a good hard look at who you're going to be playing in the first couple of rounds. And
Coach Scott Morrison still very much acquainting himself with the Wildcats boys.
Well, he did it very well. If you haven't had a chance, jump online to the Wildcats social media, and one of his first, might have been his first training session, looked like he was about to give any player from the Wildcats 30. He had his full length, he had skins on underneath the shorts, and he looked like he was ready to drop a 30-piece on Bryce in some one-on-one at the end of training.
Yep. A couple of substitutions for both teams. Majuk, Jesse Wagstaff, Kyle Zunic coming in for Perth. Speak of players, it was great to see back. Majuk being back out there, Pete, former teammate of yours.
Yeah, really exciting to see him back. What he went through last year, we know how hard it is to recover from an injury like that, and credit to him for the dedication he put put in, but especially the Wildcats organisation helping him to get back, and just really good to see him out on the floor, and expecting him to have a nice little role for the Wildcats this year. There he is, putting a lid on that one.
For Brisbane, a sub for them. Jack Salt. It'd be pretty hard to miss Jack Salt. There he is. All 6'10" of him. Underneath the basket, Franks was stripped while Wagstaff was laying on the ground. Yeah, Bullets ball from the baseline. Drimmick off the inbound. Nice play, Brisbane. Good action.
That is something Anthony Drimmick has done his whole career. If it's a baseline out of bounds play, he is going to get the first touch. That is going up. Did it nearly every year he was with the Adelaide 36ers. We saw it a bit for the Bullets last year, and good start for him here.
Wagstaff getting into the paint. Had a good game first up, the skipper. 11 points on 3 of 3 from outside.
He's going to captain the Wildcats again, and rightly so, with the success and what he means to the Perth Wildcats, more than just what he brings on the floor.
Franks and Drimmick and Krebs coming out. Majuk Deng, Tom Digbo, Tamari Wigness coming in. We didn't see Tamari Wigness first up. He's out there midway through the first. Cotton threw a bullet in for Majuk that he couldn't control.
Wigness going to get these minutes here, especially without Nathan Sobey. Big opportunity for him here.
If you have just joined us, as Pete said, Nathan Sobey being rested tonight for the Bullets. Wildcats going in without Todd Blanchfield, Mitch Norton and Corey Sherville. Majuk Deng missing from close range. Zunic handing off to Cotton. Crosses Rover and then finds Majuk. Wigness had his hands in. It's going to send the big man to the free throw line.
Oh, that Cotton Island, when he starts dancing those really long, wide crossovers, you've got to sit down and really have to try and pick which way or force him. The best way to try and slow him down, you can never really stop the greatness of Bryce Cotton, but try and get up into him and force him to go a certain way that you've got to help defense, because if you let him dance a couple of times, the options are endless, and if he rises up and shoots, there's a good chance if you're trying to jump to block him that you send him to the line for a potential 4-point play.
Majuk makes both. 13-10 at the Ulverston Sports and Leisure Centre. Games here to be played on Sunday as well, a double-header, and a double-header on Wednesday. Jack Purchase subbed in and gets his hands on it there with the rebound. Cotton pulling up this time, got it.
Well, you can't defend a ball screen, especially when the defense isn't set that far off Bryce Cotton. You've got to get up and meet him if the defense is going to get hit by a screen, because he will rise up and let that fly every single time.
Patterson's got Deng on the way to the basket. Didn't use him. Took it himself instead.
That's something Lamar Patterson can do when he's feeling good as he gets downhill. Bryce Cotton tries to get a quick 2 for $1. Comes up a bit short.
Patterson proactive. What about that for a matchup? Cotton guarding Patterson. Digbo steps out for 3.
Digbo is exciting. You saw the big highlight play he had, but he's had a really good junior career and promising future ahead on a really nice late signing by the Bullets.
Yeah, one of the NBL's next stars for the season. We know how successful that program's been. 2 more for Cotton.
Sometimes better luck than good than Bryce Cotton, and a little deflection landed straight back in his hands, and he'll take that every single day of the week.
5 points for the 3-time MVP. Digbo's pass misses everything, and it's out of play. Both teams going to continue to ring the changes, including Shuan Xinglu. Talk about players that are hard to miss. He's 7'5" and he stands in the middle of the keyway. You will not miss him.
It's going to make a difference to the way teams approach when he steps onto the floor and be a big presence. He was moving all right in that first game.
Yeah.
I like what he saw. It looked like he already had some good connections. Nathan Sobey was finding him in some good spots, but Tom Digbo, a guy who's got a really, really high potential and had the opportunity to play for either the Spanish or the French national team, which is going to be a tough choice when you talk about some European powerhouses.
He's got his sights set on next year's NBA draft. And at this stage, ESPN have got him inside the top 100. So he's clearly a player to watch for this season.
Well, it looks like he's going to get that opportunity. The Bullets are going to throw him in there and give him plenty of chances to go out there and improve and rise up those NBA draft stocks. And he's athletic and he just stroked that three ball. It's going to fit in nicely with the way they'd be trying to play.
Pete, it feels good to get a different look at Brisbane without Nathan Sobey at the moment. So much of their offense revolves around him. It's nice to kind of just see tonight where else their avenues to finding a bucket are going to be.
We've seen it a lot with the ball in Lamar Patterson's hands. He's still going to be their playmaker even alongside Sobey, but when he goes off, you get that chance to a really good passer. When he's just trying to make things happen, he can get his teammates involved.
Here's Michael Frazier. His first game for the Perth Wildcats, bringing the ball up the floor. 13 games with the Houston Rockets in the 2019-20 season. One of the biggest names to join the NBL in the off-season.
Well, it's a huge late signing, isn't it, for them? And who has been around numerous G League teams. And if Perth Wildcats, fans who got to see what Casey Prather brought to the program, is an old college teammate from the Florida Gators of Casey Prather, so I'm sure they would have had some conversations about what you're getting into with that organisation over in the West and how they treat you guys and to be able to have that success. And I'm sure that he jumped to that opportunity because he's here and I'm expecting some big things from him this season.
In that senior year with Casey Prather, he shot the three ball at 43% for the season.
When you line that up against the Vic Law and Bryce Cotton, and especially when you have a defensive menace as a point guard like Mitch Norton, and have Hodgie down low, all of a sudden, everyone was talking 2 months ago, well, what's happening with the Perth Wildcats recruiting, new coach, what's going to happen? It's going to be tough to see that streak end, isn't it, this year? And they just always seem to find a way to get it done, and obviously the new coach, new system, it's already super strange. 1 game and 1 quarter in to not see Flex ran every single time down the floor.
I kind of miss Flex.
But I'm really going to be excited to see how they buy into this and what it brings.
Law can reset from the top. And that foul has been picked up by Max McKinnon. Our first chance to see Max, a development player this year. His father, Sam, one of the greats of the NBL, 2-time champion, 3-time All-NBL first team, was the MVP in 2007. And talk about cult figures, Pete, when I was growing up, I'm a little bit older than you, Sam McKinnon was the one at primary school that you wanted to be like. You wanted to all fly like Slam and Sam McKinnon.
Oh, well, fair enough too, with what he brought. And that's the kind of thing you think about now with how much the NBL's been put on the map and the pathway to the NBA. We had this kind of exposure, and back in those days, you'd think Sam McKinnon would 100% be getting that opportunity.
Great chance for Max, who's a really good player in his own right. What a pass from Tamari Wigness. On the end of it, deng deng. Threaded the eye of the needle. And here's deng deng again. He's got Wigness running the floor with him. And the Bullets out of the timeout have had the better of this one. Although that time, Wigness lost the ball. Frazier in the open court. It's got options to choose from. One of them purchase. That's what he's out there to do. Splash from the top of the key.
With all their playmaking guards, just adding some other shooting depth around is really going to help the Perth Wildcats offense.
Lou left unattended. Maybe Hodgson might think twice about that next time.
Touch there, and you just see how well he moves for his size. It's incredible how quickly he gets up there to set those big screens.
Puts the Bullets back in front. Final stages of this first quarter. Both teams playing their second game of the NBL Blitz. Regular season not too far away, December the 3rd. Hodgson on the buzzer of quarter time. Someone had to get it up. And Matt Hodgson delivers. It's 22 apiece after one.
Just hands it straight back from the big fella down the other end. We'll both hit a couple, so good little promising start here from both sides.
For the Bullets, their leading scorer, Anthony Drimmick, with 7 points. Lamar Patterson has 4. Terrell Harrison has 4 to go with 3 rebounds. For the Wildcats, 5 to Bryce Cotton, 4 to Majuk. And their scoring spread around after that. What are you seeing with Brisbane so far, Pete? We've got a lot to learn about the Wildcats, no doubt, but we've got a lot to learn about Brisbane under new coach James Duncan.
Well, we have. I like the way that they're going to be playing. As you said, it's different without Nathan Sobey. Nathan Sobey is the Brisbane Bullets in terms of everything runs through him, and the way he plays, he's the heart and soul of that Bullets team. But you get to see Lamar Patterson. Lamar Patterson's mindset looks right. He looks like he's ready to come in and attack this year. Makes plays, makes things happen, doesn't have to shoot the ball every time. When he's aggressive, he's always looking for other guys, getting nice passes when people get the ball in the right spot. You saw him take the defensive assignment of Bryce Cotton down the other end a couple of times, and that's what we want to see from Lamar Patterson, and I'm looking forward to seeing him get back to that MVP caliber form that we all saw 2 years ago, and it's a really promising start for him.
So games played over the last couple of days. If you missed last night, it was a fantastic regular season standard game between the New Zealand Breakers and the Sydney Kings. The Breakers won it by 4, 97-93. They were 14-0 down to start the game, and then played without Tom Abercrombie, who only played a couple of minutes with a hip injury. They clawed their way back in. They did it the right way, and Peyton Seaver and Jeremiah Martin, with a bit of Yanni Wetzel, took over.
Yeah, it was. It was a cracking game. If you're a fan of defense, you wouldn't have enjoyed it, but it was high-flying offense, and that's what we're going to see from both those outfits. And Jeremiah Martin, what a nice pickup that looks like for the New Zealand Breakers. He has been very lively off the bench. Peyton Seaver came off the bench in yesterday's game and looked like the Peyton Seaver that a lot of people have expected with the signing, but both those teams I think will be fun to watch. You like the styles of play that we've seen from them early in the Blitz.
Tomorrow, back at the Melbourne Sports Aquatic Centre, the Breakers will play the Phoenix first up. 5:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and then Melbourne and Illawarra playing the second game. That should be a very interesting contest. As we start the second, Lou staying out there for Brisbane. Drimmick late in the clock, got it up, and down it goes.
Well, he is feeling good, Anthony Drimmick. And this one yet to miss. That's 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field. Late shot clock, everybody's got the confidence, got to get it up.
10 points, he's the leading scorer in the game. First one to double figures. Big Law against his former team. His move in the off-season looked like it raised a few eyebrows on social media. A few of the Brisbane players had a bit to say. Nice fine. Big Lou underneath.
Really good find for Big Lou. And this is what I'm talking about. The short time that he's been here, the Bullets guys know where you have to put him to be successful and how to kind of play with him on the floor. It's going to be a lot different than they play with Harrison. As Vic Law gets straight down the lane. Nice, easy too. And yeah, did enjoy a little bit of banter back and forth. Good teammates, good friends, but that's what you want to see.
I think it was Nathan Sobey, wasn't it? It had just the eye emojis. Didn't say anything. Just the, what do you call those emojis, Pete?
Well, no, that's what they are. 2 eyes. So
yeah, but like, are they goggly eyes or something, or what do you? I don't know. What do you call them?
Probably just a little bit of skeptical thing. I think it was implied.
Skeptical eyes.
I think it was implied that, hey, I didn't hear from you, and I see you on the Perth Wildcats social. What does this mean?
Bullets lead it by 5. Nice play. Little two-man game with Kevin White and Hodgson. They draw the foul.
Yep, we haven't yet seen Vic Law, Bryce Cotton and Michael Fraser on the floor all at the same time. Scott Morrison just having a little look at how all the guys look and what he can expect from the season coming up. And you add Top Blanchfield, you add Mitch Norton. They're going to be a mighty tough squad.
Spent the last 3 as a Bullet, Matt Hodgson. Was headed overseas. Looked as if he was going to Europe at one stage, and then a few things changed, and the Wildcats knocked on the door, and Matt Hodgson walked through it.
Saw that free throw there. I'll tell you what he will be happy about, the fact that all of a sudden you can't give away burgers at RAC Arena. You don't want to do that. That feeds a lot of mouths.
Franks spots up. Lou and Krebs try and keep it alive. He did, but it's to the advantage of Fraser.
That's a blocking foul there on Anthony Drimmick. Just trying to stop the fast break. And as we talked about Drimmick's start to this game, and this is what it's going to be exciting for Anthony Drimmick this year. You talk about the pieces that they've added. Lamar Patterson with his mindset. Frank, when they get Isaiah Moss back in. It's going to give Anthony Drimmick the chance to have more of these games, which we saw last year. But last year I think he had to show up more consistently, but he can be that time when he's coming in and feeling good off the bench, when he can have the 10 to 15 points really quickly. He's going to be able to do that a lot more. Throw him in there, see what he can deliver at certain times, and if he's feeling really good, just run a lot of things for him and see how long it takes him to cool down.
Krebs doing his best to keep Fraser quiet. Hodgson's taking it all the way in himself. Lou got some help from Franks, and they put an end to that.
Well, they backed him down, but Big Lou, you've got to do more than that. You've got to get him out the way. And well, Franks didn't get called for a foul there because he still had to get over Lou. There he is again on the offensive rebound and just puts it back as softly as you like.
He was rebounding against the under-12s.
Well, that's what he's going to do.
He was double the size of
You've
it.
got to get right down low and try and push him out of the key, because if anywhere near that ball, it's just going to fall in his hands. As Purchase does what he does best. Good find there from Fraser.
Couple of knockdowns for Jack Purchase. Really playing that Clint Steindl role now, isn't he? We've come in, heat up quickly. Clint Steindl now at Tasmania, was announced captain of the Jack Jumpers today. Lou showing his touch this time around.
Looks really good. Really
Looks
exciting.
really good.
Big Lou. And we see this lineup here with Jack Purchase playing in the wing, and it's a weird one. You've got Kevin White, and then you've got Fraser, Purchase, Law, who all just switch as Hodgie tries to go through the big fella and reverse, and he's not happy with the call. And fair enough too.
No, he's not.
After your last couple of minutes.
He looks gassed as well. There might be a sub coming pretty soon. In fact, might be now, but
Can't get a challenge just yet, but at least he knows how to ask for one. That's what you want to see. And I love his activity. You see down here, great little touch. Matt Hodgson did well to kind of push him away and had a great touch, got to the middle of the key, rose up and knocked it down. But I love his defensive energy. Even when Hodgie tried to go at him, just his ability to wall up and not foul, whether he thought he fouled or not, the play before. Just knowing that he can wall up, put his hands straight up, it's going to cause so many problems for the opposition.
Damon Lowry was in commentary with us for the Bullets' first game against Tasmania, and Pete said the exact same thing, that a lot of bigs, their natural temptation is to kind of lean in a little bit rather than just go straight up. He's mastered that. And they're up by 4, the Bullets. Robert Franks knocks down the 3.
Well, kind of nothing play in the end. They just slowly walked the ball up and no real pressure, just strolled into that, knocked that one down. And the Bullets have a nice little run here.
His first points of the game. Travis blocked. Digbo came in for support and got a piece of it.
Well, again, you see Harrison doing the same thing, and this is what's going to really help Harrison's development, is going against the big body of Lou every single day, trying to figure out how do I get to my spots to kind of play over the length of the big fella, and that's going to really help him shine. You see there, he had his hands straight up and bought time for Digbo to come in and deny that one.
Let's play off the inbound for Jack Purchase. He banks it home, and he's now up to 8 points. Leading scorer in the game for the Wildcats. They've worked away to find Franks. Misses from the top of the key. And Vic Law lifting the tempo. Pulls up himself. That is impossible to stop.
Well, it is, and that's a Vic Law kind of thinking, I haven't had a touch for a couple times down the floor. Just shook the defense, rose up and knocked that one down.
Patterson falling away over the outstretched arm of Vic Law.
When he gets down deep, we see him post up a lot, but just the patience he has when he has the ball in his hand as Kevin White tries to answer back, and that's a bit long. That patience of Lamar Patterson, that's so tough to stop. Vic Law has got the length, the athleticism, couldn't get to it. Lamar Patterson just knocked that one in. We are seeing glimpses here early in the blitz of the Lamar Patterson that has been spoken about by his teammates and himself. And if you're a Brisbane Bullets fan, you're going to be very happy with that.
And the thing that we know about Lamar, Pete, even from last season where he wasn't at his best, back end of games, he just takes over. Fourth quarter, Brisbane playing to win. They just give the ball to Lamar and good things happen normally.
Well, that's what happens because he makes smart plays. He puts himself in that right position and doesn't do anything silly, and he's nice and patient. And he's not just hunting his shot. He can get his shot anytime one-on-one. We saw it there against Vic Law. When they throw another defense, he's always looking. He's another defender looking. He'll zip passes past people's ear. Really fun to play with down the stretch.
Timeout, 5:16 to play before half-time. Here's some of the highlights from the game so far, and some of them belonging to Jack Purchase, who for a lot of Wildcats supporters wouldn't have seen a lot of Jack. Played a little bit last year with Adelaide as an injury replacement player, but I think they'd be pretty pleased with what they're seeing so far.
Well, he played that and the NBL 1 where he played in Tasmania for Hobart. He was a stretch 4, and we're seeing him play a bit off the ball now in that 3, in that wing spot, and I think that he has the versatility to go between playing as that pick and pop type format and throwing him on the wing, and especially in a matchup like this when you're guarding some bigger wings. So Scott Morrison has the opportunity to put him out there for some extra shooting, and right now he's doing exactly what he needs to and filling it up.
It's for all of the talk about the Wildcats and what they were going to look like, with Blanchfield, Norton and Sherville not playing tonight, Pete, they're deep, aren't they? There's no hiding that. They are a deep team.
Well, they're deep and they're led by that man still, Bryce Cotton. And if you've got Bryce Cotton lacing them up every single night, you're going to have a good chance to win.
Harrison fouled by Wagstaff. How do you think they will handle a stretch of the season? They've got the first 5 games at home, and then they'll be on the road by the looks of things. And things can change all the time with governments and whatnot, but at the moment it looks like they're going to be packing their bags for an extended period.
Well, I think it does help that you get to play those games at home first and kind of tick all that off and have the feeling of excitement building in WA, and once you've done that, you go on the stretch and felt it, kind of makes you more excited to get through that stretch to get back home, and it builds up that anticipation. But it also on the other side puts a bit of pressure on those first few games of we need to win these games at home. We need to cut and build this fortress back in the jungle, go on the road, try and win as many as we can away from home, and then come back and really finish the season strong.
Adelaide Cairns, 2 against Brisbane and 1 against Tasmania, all at home to start the season. They'll be on the road from the 28th of December. As Tane Samuel bringing the ball up the floor for the Bullets. Digbo, shot clock winds into single figures. Digbo elevates, forces it home.
Well, forces the right word. Didn't have a whole lot there. Took some contact and really nice touch after the bump.
He's got some tricks.
He's got some athleticism, just hanging in the air and making something out of nothing. And this is what you like to see. Get that and get some pressure full court. Got a bit of length on him as well to add to that athleticism. He's going to cause a lot of issues.
Cotton missing everything, which we don't say often. Digbo gave it to Terrell Harrison, who wasn't looking, and Cotton has options up the floor. Zunic worried out of it. The long arms of Deng Deng just did enough. A weakness as his pass chopped off. So no Nathan Sobey tonight for Brisbane. He's rested. We haven't seen Jason Kadee, and he's not listed tonight on the Bullets team sheet either. So perhaps he's also being rested. Apologies for not having that information in front of us. Weakness puts the ball on the floor, now stepping back. Harrison gathers, scores, and is fouled.
Oh, really good awareness from Harrison. Saw that shot was going to fall really short. Shot clock running down, and Luke Travers just caught staring at it, thinking the shot clock was going to go off or to fall right in his hands. And Harrison came straight over, took it, and gets the chance at a three-point play.
Get another look at this, and you can see what Pete was saying there. Harrison was aware of what was happening. Makes good on the extra. Seven-point lead for the Bullets. Scores were level at quarter time. It's Cotton. Fantastic pass for Majuk.
We're starting to see a little bit of flashes of Bryce Cotton that we get to see when he's in full flight. And for the local community here at the Ulverston Sports and Leisure Centre, when you talk about wanting the NBL to come to your town for a preseason game, you probably want the man of Bryce Cotton's calibre to be in that game.
Absolutely. You speak to any team, Pete, when the Wildcats come to town, Bryce Cotton sells tickets. Offensive foul on Jesse Wagstaff for the Wildcats. Yeah, he's a special player.
Get a chance here at their little small ball lineup here from the Wildcats. Samuel throws that one to a lucky fan. And this is the chance Scott Morrison in the blitz he's using just to see what can we throw to kind of junk it up. And traditionally we've always seen the Wildcats play with that true big man, but got Wagstaff there and Vic Law splitting the front court. Eventually you'd think that add Michael Fraser in alongside that, and we've seen different at times last year with the injuries to Mitch Norton and at certain different times other players. Luke Travers running the point guard. So
we saw that a little bit last year, didn't we?
So there's plenty for Scott Morrison to work with, just to kind of throw different lineups out there. If they want to go that small ball lineup, they still have the length with Luke Travers' size and wingspan to be able to throw out there and switch a lot, kind of really junk it up, but offensively it'll be a really tough cover. As
a couple of turnovers in a row, yeah.
In a row. Bullets are... This isn't the cricket from the Bullets. You have to give that ball back. Just keep throwing it to the fans.
Wagstaff and Travers trying to work together. Harrison batted down that pass. Patterson driving into the lane, kicks out for Robert Franks. It's good.
That's what I'm talking about, Lamar Patterson, when he's in this frame of mind. Just had made the attack, and there was multiple guys on him. Never tried to rush anything, never tried to force anything, just drew a couple of extra defenders. He's going to get a foul call there. And here Frank's in the corner. Yeah, this is really good from Lamar Patterson. Really having an impact. 8 points, he's got 5 assists. And I'm glad we're seeing him attack the blitz like this. I know a lot of guys will use the blitz just to try and get their legs under him, trying to feel out their teammates, how they play against opposition, because a lot of it's just been in-house and those intra-squad scrimmages. But it's good to see Lamar Patterson in this frame of mind.
First points for Wagstaff. There he is, the skipper. Starts the season as number 2 in the all-time games played for the Perth Wildcats, behind only the legendary Ricky Grace. Patterson winding down the clock. Krebs couldn't get his 3-ball away. Now tries to find his way into the paint and did well.
Well, made something out of nothing there, and you saw the versatility of that defensive lineup from the Wildcats. Vic Law decided to pick up full court on Lamar Patterson as Luke Travers goes all the way 4-2, and it had Luke Travers playing the 4 in the power forward spot, and they can do that, just kind of mix and match with what matchup they think works well. As Patterson, that is a bullet pass corner to corner. Extra pass to Samuel, who's no good, but Harrison doing what he showed last year, cleaning up a mess.
He's had a good first half. 6 rebounds to go with 10 points for Terrell Harrison. Had that one snatched off him by Patterson. Last minute before half-time. Patterson steps back on Wagstaff. It's short. Harrison reels in the long rebound.
Well, Jesse Wagstaff yelling at LT Luke Travers to come and get this matchup. Get him back towards the rim.
McKinnon. Good pass for Harrison. 2 more.
Really good awareness there, just to know you didn't have to force anything. Have time to get a bullet pass to Harrison, who also knew how long was left and got it up really quickly.
Couple of the Bullets youngsters combining late in the quarter. Kevin White with an answer of his own.
Well, you saw all the heads there turn to Bryce Cotton. He drew all the attention, and Kevin White showed last year that you can't leave him open. He's 2 of 4 tonight, and he's been really working on that shot. And no longer can you just keep going under those ball screens consistently or helping off a long way, because he will step in and knock those down.
The Bullets win the quarter, 31-22. Records a point for the Bruton Loggins Cup. They take a nice lead into half-time, Pete. 55-47. They'd be pretty happy with what they've dished up.
Well, they look really good. We talked about Lamar Patterson a lot in that quarter, but Big Lou looked outstanding in his minutes. He was very active in making things happen on both ends of the floor. Digbu came in. Franks hit a couple of threes, but here's the big talking point. Lamar Patterson, how well he's moving and making plays. That's going to make Bullets fans very, very happy.
Here are some of our highlights from the opening half. They've spread the load, Brisbane, with no Nathan Sobey tonight. We've got some looks at some different offensive solutions, and we've loved the look of what Big Lou's been able to do in the paint. He's something completely different.
He is. I mean, it's quite extraordinary to see how well he moves for his size, but just the touch. I mean, he hit the mid-range jumper in that first quarter. Got that nice little hook shot, and then the defense, what I was most impressed with. And the Wildcats, are going to take a bit of adjustment, as we talked about, haven't had too long with Scott Morrison at the helm. And now they got Michael Frazier in. They're kind of full cohort import-wise, especially without their main point guard, Mitch Norton, there to run the show, and Todd Blanchfield. But you just kind of see that it will be exciting for both these teams come the regular season.
So a couple of games to come still for Brisbane. They'll play on Wednesday here at Ulverston against Cairns, and they'll finish up at MyState Bank Arena back in Hobart on the 28th. The Wildcats have got 3 games to come, 2 at Ulverston and 1 at the Elfin Sports Centre before the end of the NBL Blitz. But at halftime here at Ulverston, it's the Bullets who lead the Wildcats 55-47 on KO Freebies. Don't go too far. Second half is coming up shortly.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
NBL Blitz as it rolls around Tasmania. You can catch every game of the NBL Blitz live for free on KO Freebies. Supply deals merchandise to support your favourite team this year at the NBL. Visit NBLSilver.com.au. Get yourself decked out in your team's official 2021-22 on-court jersey. The NBL is here for the upcoming season. Pick your team, challenge your mates, win the prizes every game day. Register for free at fantasy.nbl.com.au. Watch every NBL game live on ESPN, KO and Foxtel this season. 2 games live and free each week on 10 each. 10 play KO freebies. Check the NBL app to find out who you want your favourite team to play this season. Activate your backyard this season with a dream court and kickstart your basketball dream. Visit dreamcourts.com.au for more information. It's time to figure this thing. This NBL season to Tasmanian Jack Jumpers in the NBL. Head to jackjumpers.com.au/membership to secure your seats. We prepare to make history. If you're looking to get your Jack Jumpers merchandise, you can visit Jack Jumpers website, shop.jackjumpers.com.au. Make sure you don't miss out on your Tasmanian Jack Jumpers merchandise for this season. It's starting at the 21-22 NBL season not far away. Jack Jumpers is scheduled to kick their season off at Wildcats Bank Arena on Friday, December 3. Visit jackjumpers.com.au/membership now. Sign up to Tasmanian Jack Jumpers together. That way you won't miss any of the action. Please don't forget the COVID protocol side. Please keep your mask on at all times, unless you're drinking. If you need cough or sneeze, please do so in your elbow. If you use a tissue, please dispose of it immediately. And I'll rub some around the floor. Please also maintain social distancing of 1.5 metres wherever possible. Thank you for your cooperation. Righto, fans here at Allison Sports and Leisure Centre. If you want to get a little bit closer to the action, the front row seats are available to be taken. So if you're perched up the back there of the stands, feel free to come down and take a front row seat if they are available.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
Welcome back to the NBL Blitz on KO Freebies from the Ulverston Sports and Leisure Centre in Tasmania. Half-time in our Friday night contest. The Brisbane Bullets leading 55-47. Second half not too far away. Take you through some of the leading scorers in the game so far. For the Brisbane Bullets, Terrell Harrison in the middle has 12 points to go with 7 rebounds. Anthony Drimmick has 10 points, 2 of 3 from outside. Lamar Patterson, 8 points and 5 assists. Xiaowen Xinglu also has 8 points. Peter Hooley, 3 rebounds for the Perth Wildcats. 9 for Vic Law, 8 for Jack Purchase off the bench, who's been shooting the ball well. 7 for Bryce Cotton.
Yeah, I mean, to start with for the Bullets, Anthony Drimmick was the man. He was on fire, hadn't missed a shot, and was looking really comfortable. And that's kind of the spark they're going to be able to use him for a lot this year. With Lamar Patterson and Big Lou are the stories coming out of the Bullets in that first half. As we said, no Nathan Sobey, he's being rested. No Isaiah Moss still, and still chasing up on what's happening with Jason Kadee. For the Wildcats, interestingly enough, I know that they are still trying to get acquainted with everything, new roster, new coach. We didn't see any time at all with all three of Vic Law, Bryce Cotton and Michael Frazier on the floor together. They had 2 a couple of times and they mixed that up, but not all 3, and I'm wondering if maybe that's Scott Morrison just trying to keep a little trick up his sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
Come the season. I'm sure we'll see them sooner rather than later. But Jack Purchase showed some really good signs in playing on the wing, which we hadn't often seen in his early little career. Vic Law looked good. Bryce Cotton was active. Luke Travers looking very confident. And what I loved so much about Luke Travers last year was people forget he was a development player last year, and people forget because he started the regular season when last season started as their starter. He was starting as the starting 4, and then kind of found himself whenever Trevor Gleeson thought he made a mistake, would sit him down and just not play him. And he had to work through that, and then he had a period during the NBL Cup where he didn't play at all.
That's right.
He didn't play much at all, and other guys are getting the opportunities, and then ended up being a significant part of their deep finals run and having so much to contribute on both ends of the floor. And just the growth and the maturity that takes as a then development player sets him up this year to take another step. And he's putting his hand up, and he sees Josh Giddey, he sees these guys that he knows well going in the NBA draft, and he's going to put his name right in that hat.
How close is he, do you think?
I mean, you see the flat. It's just such a unique thing when you talk about guys taking that next step, and he's not going to put up the triple-double numbers. He's not going to have the ball in his hands a lot, but what he can do on the defensive end, if he can consistently knock down the 3, when he gets out in transition, he's extremely athletic, the length that he has on him. And the best thing about it is he's always going to stand out because he's got beautiful hair. And that's fair play to him.
Is he now perming that hair?
Whatever he's doing, keep doing it, Luke.
It's very good. It's got layers and volume to it. So we start the second half. Patterson going to work on Vic Law, but blocked by Hodgson. Got it back and drops it in.
Well, he is looking really good on the move. Just put that ball on a string. Lamar Patterson. Hodgson got a nice piece of it, but he got it back and got the 2.
He's looked really, really solid tonight, Lamar Patterson. Looks back to some of his threatening offensive ways. Hodgson worked Harrison under it. Now Kevin White finds Travers, who explodes upstairs.
That's exactly what he does. Good pass there. Good cut from White to find Travers. Travers doesn't need a lot of time and space to get upstairs that quickly. He's put on a little bit more size too. You can see been hitting the weight room. Credit to the strength and conditioning of the Wildcats. I think that right there, to be able to contain Franks off the dribble and be disruptive as Drimmick tries to keep hot from the first half, and is. If Luke Travers can kind of lock into being that really key defensive stopper, as well as what he brings slashing and on the offensive glass, and that's what's really going to get him noticed on that next level.
It's a big load to carry then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but you'd also say that you can't go out and perform at such a high level with a mullet. If you can't do it, you shouldn't have one.
That's true.
So he's living up to that hype. I think
fair.
that's the next step that he can take it.
Yep. I can handle that. Harrison. Nice little floater of his own that drops.
Good pass from Franks. Another one who's been a real nice signing from the Bullets and showing what he's going to bring on the offensive end.
6 points and 3 assists for Robert Franks. Cotton got to a nice spot for him and knocks down the 2.
We've seen that a couple of times tonight. Just any of those ball screens. The big man was Big Lou a couple of times. There was Harrison. You've got to come up and at least show on Bryce Cotton, at least let him see your numbers. Bryce Cotton doesn't need any space, and you're going to give him a lot. He's going to knock that down every single time.
Wildcats chop off that Patterson pass, and there's Cotton. Laying it up for another 2. His game's building pretty quickly. Now has 11, 4 of them coming early in this third quarter. Travis in the open floor. He lost it. Gets it back. He's open for 3. Not that time.
That's the question mark, isn't it? Being able to knock that down consistently, be that real 3-D type player, but even more unique with what he brings on the glass and his athleticism. Good block there from Matt Hodgson, but he had the 2 deflections back to back. Good hustle there from Anthony Drimick.
Pass from Patterson behind the back for Terrell Harrison. That is exquisite. Short on the 3, Cotton.
See there, if you're not up high enough, he's going to rise up into that. And the problem is, if you're going to go a little bit higher up and you're caught in between or a little late, you're going to run straight into him, because that's the way he shoots when he kicks those legs out. As Kevin White trying to get in the passing lanes, that's going to be a push-off. Well done, Kevin White. That's why he is back with the Wildcats. But as I was saying, if you decide, oh, I've got to get up on Bryce Cotton and you're late, the way he jumps, and when he really rises in, he's got that real big leap on his jump shot. You're going to clean him up and you're going to foul him. They're having a little talk here about a potential unsportsmanlike foul, and it is called there, unsportsmanlike foul on Tanner Krebs there. Kevin White in the passing lane, and they believe that Tanner Krebs kind of impeded his fast break opportunity and don't have the chance to have those replays or anything in the blitz or any challenges. So unsportsmanlike foul, 2 free throws here, and Wildcats basketball.
Tomorrow at the NBL Blitz, back in Melbourne, the Breakers and the Phoenix at 5:30 p.m. local time. United and Illawarra to play at 7:30. Again, they're small sample sizes, but the Hawks adding Antonius Cleveland, Duop Reith, even Harry Froling giving them some extra size. They look good. And Rathan Mays,
he was really nice off the bench to add to that core that is back as Vic Law. Goes off the dribble and comes up a bit long. Good fire from Hodgie, but here come the bullets.
And Justinian Jessup shot the lights out. So we'll see more of the Hawks tomorrow. Digbo trying to get to work, baseline, extends with the right hand and scores.
Look, he's really exciting. And we got a lot of exciting next stars. Dang, the race is that one from Bryce Cotton. And there's Luke Travis.
Took it away from Salt. Digbo was there to help out. There's Hodgson. It's a little too easy for Perth.
We'll be a little scrappy when there's some turnovers, and credit the Wildcats for getting up in the lanes, getting some deflections. And Digbo, you see his stats there. A nice little impact, little spark off the bench. We haven't seen all the next stars in action yet. There's Wigness. That's a really strong take. Yeah, Ariel Hook-Porte hopefully plays tomorrow.
Yep.
For Melbourne United, and then we can get a real good glimpse of what the next stars have in store. But Tom Digbo is going to be one to really keep an eye on.
Makua Maker we haven't seen yet either for Sydney. We saw Matua play last night and had a nice start to his NBL career. Deng Deng in the open court for the jam.
Well, it's been a scrappy last couple of minutes from both teams. But again, here at the Ulverston Sports and Leisure Centre, you want to see some offense, you want to see some dunks and some good plays. And that's what we get to see so far in the last few minutes and in this game. Both teams are shooting too bad from outside. As I said, a bit of a shooter's gym. But it is great to see NBL out in the Tasmanian community. Just such a big moment for Tasmania as a whole. We know the Jack Jumpers will be based out of we're going to call it the Anthill. I think Liam Sandmeter wants to call it the Anthill.
The Anthill.
Well, he came up with the Snag Pit, so him and Cam Luke, so it's probably only right that we give him another chance.
Yeah, well, the Snag Pit, that worked.
That worked.
That was good. Okay, the Anthill. If anyone's got any better suggestions,
Let us know. Happy to throw it out
hashtag
there.
NBL Blitz.
I'm sure the Jack Jumpers will have a few as well, but no, just really good, and love how much the players have bought into getting around the community. And as you said, the sellouts, I think we're going to see a few of those.
Absolutely.
A lot of those
Yep.
throughout the year. And I can't wait to get down there for a game and see the new renovations.
Yeah, just on the edge of the Derwent River there. The location's perfect.
Yeah, another good place to shoot the basketball down there as well.
Is it, Peter? Take us through it.
Seaball days.
Go on.
Oh, mate, it's
Playing for who?
That's long gone.
Who was it with?
Ballarat Miners.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
So the thing is for our viewers is that they won't hear the end of that story. I will when we go off air. I actually will get told.
Just letting them know they can expect a lot of nice big games from players. Friendly place to shoot.
Probably bust out your shot chart. It's Cotton. Nice drive. And he's fouled.
Bryce Cotton looking a bit more active tonight and just working into his rhythm. 11 points so far, 4 assists. You see what happens, he's going to draw a lot of attention every single night. So often we see different teams throw things at him where you try and blitz him, try and double team him. Obviously you can try and keep the ball out of his hands, but it's going to find him eventually. But having Michael Frazier on the wing, put him alongside Todd Blanchfield as well. All of a sudden you can't leave anyone, you can't put too much emphasis because Bryce Cotton is a willing passer.
Blanchfield going to miss a decent chunk of the first part of the season, unfortunately, for Perth.
And he's a really integral part. That's going to be a foul and weakness of what they did last year, and it's I thought it was a perfect fit for him in their system.
A few people doubted that though, didn't they?
For sure. I mean, you saw what he did with the Hawks and how would he fit in, but it worked perfectly. It was absolutely where he needed to be. Really unfortunate that he had this injury. You will want to see how he fits in a new system because I think flex is the perfect thing for a Todd Blanchfield, the way he plays the game. And Tom Morrison's going to run a different style of play. It would have been nice to see get some reps in pre-season.
Cotton blows past Weakness and lays it up. 15 points. Leads all scorers in the game. Little fall away from Deng Deng is good. 72-61 at the Ulverston Sports and Leisure Centre. Bullets led it by 8 at half-time. They've been able to keep that healthy margin throughout this third quarter too. Shot clock winds down. Weakness got his shot away. There's a whistle on the play. A foul on Perth.
Here comes Michael Frazier for Bryce Cotton. And taking a shot, and he only played the 5 minutes, just still trying to get out of those quarantine legs. Get into a bit of action. Scott Morrison, rightly so, is just trying to ease him into things. Here's Lamar Patterson turning over. Tried to throw it up to Big Lou, but you have to really throw it up a lot higher. Good pass from Frazier to Majuk there.
Majuk continuing to build. 8 points for him now. At 8 and 5 in the first game. McKinnon, first look at him from outside.
Well, there's going to be a foul. There was both Purchase and Majuk trying to block out the big fella. And looked like Purchase called for the foul. He doesn't understand where it was, but two guys on trying to move Lou out of there.
Off the inbound, Tom Digbo. We can see him shoot the three ball. We can see him climb high. We can see him get down and dirty.
Now, I don't know if we're supposed to have our favourite next stars, but he's making a really strong case for mine. Good pass there to Majuk. He scored on back-to-back possessions for the Wildcats.
Short on that one from the free throw line.
Well, it looked like there was a foul, a little head in there from Majuk. That looks really aggressive. I mean, the next stars are all around the league and extremely exciting, all of them. Got the French talent for the breakers that
Was Marty Deng.
And Basson we're going to see a lot of. But this late signing here, Tom Digbo, I mean, what better way to get on the scene with that highlight play dunk that he had the other night. He's extremely active.
Fraser. Still yet to open his account as a Wildcat. Has been on limited minutes in his first game. Zunic with the right hand, followed up by Majuk.
That's what he's going to bring, Majuk. And this is what he needs to do. He needs to show Scott Morrison this is how he can play, what impact he can have as Mark Patterson. What a take. He has that touch around the rim. I don't want to say it too early. I'm not going to. Mark Patterson's back.
He's back, is he? He looks back.
Wouldn't be like us for the early crow, but wow, how good does he look, especially tonight? Just super active, making plays, the finishing around the rim, the one-on-one ability to create his own shot and get other guys involved. Just loving the way he's moving.
Well, without harping on it, and you know, a lot of people have spoken about his conditioning last year. He's spoken about it in the lead up to this season, but I'm sure that his pride would have been pricked. He's a professional athlete and has been for 10 years now. He would know.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I just credit him to hang around and play in the NBL 1 and do all that before I believe his signature was even done. So he just said, I've got to do this for myself. I've got to back myself in here and show that I mean business. And a lot of that is from the shoulders up. And we're seeing it right now. Once he puts his head and mind to it, Mark Patterson, we talked about a couple of years ago, potentially winning the MVP.
McKinnon skips baseline. Chopped off by Zunic. There's Fraser.
Oh my goodness.
And Deng got a piece of it.
That's the young fella. That's Tom Digbo.
Sorry.
I think he is. I think he's the one to watch.
Yeah.
Good timing now with that, because I wanted to get upstairs. Michael Fraser wanted to get upstairs.
Tom Digbo getting it done at both ends.
That's Fraser's first shot, and he said he's got to get his legs back under him the 2 weeks in quarantine. Not quite there yet, as you'd expect, and just being reliably informed. Unsure if it's common knowledge, but the Nest is what we're going to call
the Nest. Okay.
The Derwent Entertainment Centre.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. I don't mind the India, but the Nest seems something that'll fit nicely.
The Nest it is. Samuel rips one cross court for Tanner Krebs. Got it.
Good ball movement there. Ball didn't stop. Everybody got a touch. Got to knock that one in. Wide open, extra pass. Good knockdown from Tanner Krebs.
So last play of the quarter. They give Fraser some room to operate. It doesn't drop. 3 quarters gone in Ulverston, and the Bullets maintain their lead and in fact expand on it. 82-71. Another good quarter.
Well, it is. And this is a Brisbane Bullets team right now without Nathan Sobey. And you know how much he will dominate the ball when he does play. Doesn't matter about that because he already has that chemistry built up with Lamar Patterson to be able to play on and off the ball. They both can do that. And you add the likes of Jason Kadee, who can come in and play that true point guard role and slip one of them to the 2 and potentially even the 3, all 3 of them. You're going to have plenty of options for Coach Duncan to really play with. But what you need is your main 2 guys, which is going to be the Sobey and Lamar Patterson. We saw Sobey looking really good in the first game and resting tonight. Lamar Patterson looking outstanding so far, and then the rest of the complement looks really promising. So Brisbane Bullets put together a nice little package.
So we look at some of the highlights from the third quarter. That Luke Travis dunk to start the third was one of the highlights of it. Terrell Harrison, Pete, 16 points, 8 rebounds, re-signed with the Bullets for the next 2 years, and they were so keen on him that deal was done before last season had even finished. They'd already locked away his future, perhaps knowing what was coming with Matt Hodgson. He's 22 years of age. Is he ready to take that step now and be a starter?
Well, he took it last year, didn't he? He really just jumped ahead of where a lot of us thought he was at and had some big games. And it's just a credit to him. He's worked through the Bullet system and he's got this opportunity he's taking it. And you talk about his game tonight. With the 16 points, 7 of 8 from the field, they've only really thrown it to him once and said, go to work. The rest of it has been him putting himself in the right spot. Offensive rebounds, little dump-off passes, but just getting to a place to affect the game and be able to get some easy buckets. And he'll clean up the glass. He's athletic and he's got that long wingspan. So really nice play from him. And again, when he's out there, it's going to be different than with Big Lou. So the team's going to have to adjust to that, and all of that is going to happen. You'd think over the remaining Blitz games, and by the time you get to that last preseason game, you want to have it treated as closely to a game as possible as you get ready to tip it off for real.
Franks, Patterson, Deng, Krebs, Drimmick. The starters for Brisbane in the last. White, Law, Fraser, Hodgson and Jack Purchase for the Wildcats. Hodgson had a good seal down low, banks it off the glass.
Well, good patience from Hodgie there. Didn't try to do anything too silly. A couple shot fakes. Ended up getting a nice easy 2. Good start from the Wildcats. They go back to a little 2-3 zone here. Trying to get the Bullets out of what they are comfortable with, but there you go. A flash to the high post from Franks, and that's going to be his bread and butter.
He looks a player. 8 points tonight, but the Bullets have been raving about his off-season. How good he's looked in practice.
You see Lamar Patterson skying for the rebound to clean that up. Good one-on-one defense from Drimmick.
Franks guarded by Hodgson. Shot clock running down.
What a pass.
Patterson for Deng, and he couldn't cap it off.
Oh, missed a bunny there. Deng. We've seen Lamar Patterson just telling him where to go, where to roll. Fraser from the corner, no good. Another rebound to Lamar Patterson.
That's number 6 to go with his 14 points. Franks into the corner for Tanner Krebs. Another knockdown 3 for the Tasmanian.
Well, you see, this is what happening right now. Lamar Patterson, they had 2 guys really trying to get the ball out of his hands. He got rid of it quickly to Franks, took one dribble. All of a sudden, the defense was completely outmatched, and they were going to either have a wide open layup or a corner 3 ball. Made the right decision, and Tanner Krebs knocked it down.
Fraser run out of room, and Hodgson managed to manufacture something.
The Wildcats fans watching Fraser for the first time, and there's nothing at all to be worried about. You talk about had the 2 weeks quarantine, just trying to work himself into it. You've still got a new squad. Get a bit of rust off you. Try and get that conditioning aspect right. And we saw it with a lot of new guys in their first game. That's what the Blitz is for. Get all that out of your system, getting ready for round 1. And we know the Wildcats will be in a different position than most, having just met their head coach face-to-face the other day.
Bullets maintain their lead. Brisbane back here on Sunday for their next Blitz game. Drimmick unloads his bomb. That rattles out. Wildcats playing Sunday against Cairns. Vic Law can't finish off his good work, and it's last touch by the Wildcats.
Let's call a timeout here. 7.5 minutes to go in this one.
Have you gone as far as to start to do your final ladder for the season? Have you got your predictions?
Oh, mate, we did the way too early predictions. You always, the point of them is to see how wrong you could possibly be, because there's always going to be some surprises and everything. It was pretty wrong last season, as we'd expect. Definitely not the ladder. You've only seen a certain few, and as you said, as I said, a lot of these new guys are still getting accustomed to the league, still getting their conditioning under them, coming out of quarantine, new players. And arguably the hardest thing to do is to meet your coach slowly with a new system. I know Mike Kelly's been running it so that the players are understanding, but bringing in a brand new coach to a team that their core has played a certain way for so long, it takes some adjustment. We talk about every single year, everyone a few years ago was thinking there's no way they can possibly Wildcats run flex to death every single game again, but
they do it.
They do it, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for years because of how well they played out of it. So it is a complete overhaul. It's something completely different that they will take some little time to get adjusting, and definitely not the ladder. I completely went on a tangent there from your question, but there's
No, I see what you were trying to do.
certain few things here. I mean, I like the look of a lot of teams. I think a lot of teams it's going to be the most even I can think of the NBL in terms of fighting for finals spots that I can remember in the last few years. I think there's so many teams fighting for those top four.
You know, there's generally one or two teams in every year that you kind of go, oh, okay, they're going to struggle. Oh, I can't see a team, and this is not a company line or anything. I don't see one team that you look at and think they're going to struggle. Some are going to lose a lot more than others.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, and a lot of it is, I think in years past we've said, okay, well those two teams we can cement into the top two spots. And they're going to be filling in fighting for the last two spots, potentially one spot. I don't really have that this year, because as soon as you think about locking one team away, you've got four teams that potentially pop up who can be fighting out for the spots. It just doesn't work. And
maybe I'll rephrase that then.
Please.
My original question: have you got one team that you're happy to lock in as a top two team? One team.
No, I really don't. Because the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, the Wildcats, how they've recruited, but then on my way, I really like the look of a full-strength, healthy Sydney Kings roster.
They looked good last night.
And then I'm thinking, well, Phoenix look really strong. They look deep, and they've got the right mindset to come back.
Good signing today as well that they
Really
announced.
good sign. Then I've got the Hawks. So no, I flat out do not. I just don't have it. And I like what the Breakers do. We saw what they came back. I think they're only going to get better each game they play. A lot of youth, and Jeremiah Martin, another late signing, showed what he's capable of.
He's a player, Jeremiah
It's going to
Martin.
be interesting to see how Dan Chimmy uses Jeremiah Martin. Do you want to throw him into the starting lineup, or are you going to use him with that 30, 35 minutes still off the bench as that role, and different things to use? So, yeah, it'll be a nice little thing he gets to play with. But, yeah, so to answer your question, no, I don't have anyone I can actually just straight lock in.
You did so well then
Thank you.
to talk your way through an entire timeout and not make one prediction.
Well, I'm good at that. But you're looking at the Bullets right now as well.
That's the ultimate fence-sitting move
Lamar
right there.
Patterson, Big Lou having an impact, and you're thinking, well, the Bullets are going to surprise a lot of people as well. I'm not sure if anybody hasn't seen it yet, but a guy by the name of Josh Adams who can flat out play for the Jack Jumpers, as can that man, Franks. And I put this game out to 17 points. So I appreciate that three ball, Robert Franks, because that just helps answer Jack's question. That no, I have no idea
It's
what's
extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Didn't realise there was a fence here that you could sit on in our commentary position.
Hey, it's a 10-team fence this year.
Hodgson lost it. The Bullets clamp down defensively. Krebs driving, tried to lay it up with the left hand. Picks up the foul. A lot of interest in Tanner Krebs, born and bred in Hobart. His dad played a season in 1990 with the Devils, so the family tie was there, but happy in Brisbane.
Well, another one I'm just going to use this year as an opportunity and see what comes of it. I'm just giving Coach Duncan another player that he can go to and trust in certain situations, and he's looked good tonight. Anthony Drimmick's looked good tonight. We know Sobey's going to be having that 30 to 35 minutes a game, and Jason Kadee to the mix, and all of a sudden you've got a lot of guys who are going to be putting their hands up for some minutes.
Cotton up top, got it.
Let's not forget about that, man. Bryce Cotton been doing that for a long time now and doing it better than a lot of people.
He's got 18. If anyone's going to keep them in this, it'll be Cotton. There he is, got away from Wigness. Back-to-back buckets.
Incredible motor that he has on him, and he's still working back to that peak game fitness after that injury scare, but never stops. That's why a lot of teams throw numerous guys at him. His engine, as Drimmick tries to check if he's still hot, bit long there, just never stops at all.
Now he's guarded by Krebs. He crosses over on him.
My goodness.
Krebs had to sacrifice a foul in the end.
And you think here, during that timeout, Scott Morrison said, let's just see what we can do. Roll the dice here, have a couple of strong minutes with Bryce putting the ball in his hands, and if it doesn't work out, sit him down for the last few. I like the look of how he's looked tonight, and Majuk. Great story to be that comeback, as you said. Old teammate of mine, but just the way he has attacked his rehab and to come back in, and he's looking really strong and really positive. That's the impact that he can have in a game, especially when they come up against teams with that size of the Harrisons and the Big Lou's. That's where Majuk is going to really help the Wildcats.
Harrison doubled up, and then Travis stole it away from Tane Samuel. The Wildcats are looking for quick points. Wagstaff can't make that happen.
There was a man there looking to pass for about 5 seconds with the ball in his hand. Did not want to take that shot. No one came to him. Had to put up a floater. That's about 3 steals. Only 3 steals credited for Luke Travis's pass, a bit off the money. Got more deflections than that. He's been everywhere on the defensive end. Keep an eye on him and watch his defensive growth over this year.
Tom Digbo subbed back in for Brisbane. As Pete said, has got that unique opportunity to be able to play for Spain or for France in the future.
First glance, you think about that, and you probably think, okay, well, what about Spain would be the answer? And you're like, well, maybe it's France.
French team are pretty good.
That's an almighty decision to have to make.
Yeah. Nice pass from him on the outlet. Helped Lamar Patterson to 2 more.
That's a foul on Samuel there, just taking down the veteran, Jesse Wagstaff. Comes Vic Law back in for the last 4.5 minutes here. The Digbo's played the 15 minutes. Got 10 points, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and they've been highlight reel blocks. And I think that's probably about where Coach Duncan's thinking of using him as Bryce Cotton with the long 2 step back. Normally a long 2, not a good shot in the game, but there is no such thing as a bad shot for that man right there. Probably expecting Digbo to play around that 10 to 15 minutes consistently, seeing what he gives, and if he plays like he is tonight, you'd expect that to go up to around 20-25.
Four and a half minutes remaining. Law looking for the foul and found it.
Doesn't look like he did a whole lot wrong there, McKinnon. Vic Law backing down, looking at his hands up, but in the end it's called a foul, and Vic Law is going to go to the line for 2. 11 points in 25 minutes, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Doing a bit of everything against his former team. Surely keeping some tricks ready for regular season.
Just the 16 games for Vic Law and a bad ankle injury, which brought an end to his season.
Mighty unfortunate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because for a long time we were saying he was all NBL.
Averaging 18 and 8 before he got injured.
Well, we weren't saying it. He was all NBL. There you go. He was definitely in there. That should be a turnover. That's enough. Either way, it's a turnover. He goes Majuk, and that's why big men don't run the break.
It's not a minute of play that will package up and...
Well, see what he wanted to do. His eyes lit up. He was going to go for the Euro. Just left the ball behind. But you like the confidence, and that's what we're talking about, the confidence that he's playing with, coming back from that horrible injury. Again, that's about rehab, but rehabbing a lot from the shoulders up as well. Getting yourself comfortable back out there.
Yeah, there's no... You read and speak to athletes who have had an Achilles injury, that there's no easy way to come back from it, is there?
No, it's not at all. When you talk about that, it's the Jack White and DJ Vasiljevic who both look come back this season and going to be in the emotional journeys when they get back on and hit the court, and because their teammates are sharing it with you, the whole club is sharing it with you. Good steal. There's Majuk again.
That time he handed off, and that's why he had Luke Travers riding shotgun.
And this is something that he did in those days at Melbourne United. What Dean Vickerman loved about him, his ability to show really hard on a ball screen, get really big, have really smart, strong hands. So added to what he can bring. Can do that, get those turnovers on those ball screens and really disrupt teams, push point guards, push guards out of what they're comfortable with. So I love seeing him getting back to how he plays on that end. He's going to be crashing the glass. He's going to do those things down, set good screens, roll hard. But what he does on the ball screen, he makes him extremely unique.
It's almost a new recruit, really, isn't he?
Well, it is for sure. And different to the way Matt Hodgson plays on ball screens. Hodgie likes to get in those drops or try to get to the level and just be big. You can really let Majuk get off the leash and show hard or even trap, because he has the size and he has the speed and agility to be able to do that. So again, talk about what the Blitz is used for. Tom Morrison's got a lot of different things to tinker with.
See Nathan Sobey just in the front of your screen there, not playing tonight. At 17 points in game one in their win over Tasmania. Nothing to be concerned about from a Brisbane point of view, just resting.
We're probably heading to about, be a bit generous, I'll say 2 months before a Luke Travers headband is going to make a debut the way that's going.
It's real,
A real add to his fan favourite status.
like Australian fast bowler from the 1970s sort of stuff, isn't it?
I mean, that's not watered down, it's gorgeous.
It is. It's delightful. Alou running out of ideas and running out of time. Digbo,
Oh my.
what a finish.
He's had a few of those. That's 3 that I've counted where he's got some sort of contact and just thrown it up. Really good touch.
Bounces around like a rubber ball.
Doesn't he? He's extremely athletic, we keep saying. What a find. What a find, what a pickup, and what a player. Same with that man, Vic Law. See there, everyone's eyes on Bryce Cotton. What is he doing? Where's he at? And he makes the right play. Vic Law had his feet set.
It's 15 points, 45% from the field. Patterson has had a really good night. Might have got away with a travel. In fact, he didn't get away with it.
For a second there, he might have got away with it, but you can't do that in any league. Lamar Patterson, but he has looked really good tonight. Really solid. In fact, more than solid. I've gone out and said that Lamar Patterson is back, and I believe he is. I love the mindset, the plays. Every time the ball in his hand, something good happened. Mitch Clark checks in the game for Bryce Cotton for a little bit of pre-season action here in Ulverston.
He's got the job of trying to guard Tom Digbo. That pass a little wild for Robert Franks.
There's a foul there.
Yeah.
Mitch Clark just pushing Franks out, and I've got a feel we're in for some really big highlight plays this season. We already saw it in the first round of the Blitz, but some extreme athleticism on display in NBL 22.
Less than 2 minutes remaining. Vic Law charges up the floor. Rebound dragged in by Lou. Numbers against the Bullets up ahead. That won't stop Digbo. Head down.
I expected that to go in.
Smashed his way through them.
More impressed than that, you only saw it late, but Big Lou got that rebound, got the outlet to Digbo, and sprinted down the floor, ready to clean up the mess. His work rate has been enormous tonight, and to be able to throw him out there and expect that, and at his height, you wouldn't expect him to be able to move as well as he does. He's going to cause teams a lot of issues because, for the most part, when you think about you coming up against the Bullets, you're going to have a certain scout, but you can't not have something prepared for when he steps on the floor. Well, so whether it's you're not sure how much he'll play certain games or how they'll use him, you have to have something prepared because he moves well, does the right things, puts himself in the right spot, doesn't make too many mistakes.
And we've seen tonight, which we didn't see in the first game, he's got a jump shot. Seen it knock down a couple from the field as well. It's a little something extra that he brings to the table. That time he's called for the foul on Travers.
That's probably the first time you see Lamar Paz telling him there just to keep his hands up, that his hands came down. You got a little block happy there, was chasing Luke Travers as he was going. Luke Travers was going away from the basket, didn't have to do it. Did enough just by being there to make Luke Travers do something different. And those little things that you can't afford to do.
.98-88. Brisbane just want to be a little careful on this possession. Just take care of business. Happy to use the full 24 that they've got too. Digbo for three, short. Mitch Clark pushes things for Perth. Law late in the game. Points won't count.
He's looked much more aggressive in this second half, especially the last quarter. Vic Law. You wonder if Scott Morrison maybe just gave him a bit more of a license to say, go out there and explore a little bit and get that feel for it out in that Wildcats uniform, because he has turned it on a bit more, especially this last quarter.
Some adjustments for Vic Law to be making, but as Pete has said across the night, there's a lot of adjustments being made by this Perth team. New look Perth team under Scott Morrison. Wigness being harassed by Clark. Good defensive pressure. Digbo gets past Vic Law and lays it up.
That quick first step, the athleticism to gather. I'm all in on Tom Digbo. Wow. Seen a couple of games from him now, but he is mightily exciting. That quick first step, little jab, sent him the wrong way, and how quickly he got up. I think he could have got a little funky with it. Didn't want to.
He's a player. Oh, he is a serious player. I think we've seen the emergence of him. He looked good in the first game. He's looked fantastic tonight. I guess the other thing, pleasingly for the Bullets and for James Duncan here, Pete, they've got to 100.
Well, they have. I mean, they're going to have plenty of opportunity to put up points. You talk about the guys they have in different roles. Drimmy's going to put up points. Jason Kanee when he comes in. Majuk. Good roll there. Comes up short, but offensively, I think they're going to be all right. It's going to be on that defensive end. They come away with a nice, strong win here. And big storyline out of this one is how well Lamar Patterson looked. He did a bit of everything. If you're a Brisbane Bullets fan, be very happy with how the team looked, especially without Nathan Sobey and Isaiah Moss yet to show us what he can do.
2 from 2 to start the NBL Blitz. The Brisbane Bullets, 100-90, the final score. Certainly from a Perth perspective, it looked a lot better than what it did in the first game. I'm sure that they themselves, Pete, will have plenty that they can take out of this one tonight.
It's going to be just those gradual steps for the Wildcats. There's nothing to panic about. We spoke about the challenges they're not facing right now. They're missing the heart and soul besides Bryce Cotton and Mitch Norton. I know Top Blanchard won't be there for a while. Michael Fraser's getting his feet under him. Scott Morrison is still getting his feet under him as the head coach. So it'll come. It's going to take some time, but they get to build on that and get ready for the nice little home stretch they have to open the season.
Perth will play Sunday against Cairns back here at Ulverston. For the Brisbane Bullets, they'll wait until Wednesday, and they will also play the Cairns Taipans in this very venue. As we take a look at some of the highlights from the final quarter, I think the thing that really grabbed me tonight, Pete, from a Brisbane point of view is not just the amount of options they've got scoring, but they seem a more athletic team, a team that wants to get up and down more than perhaps what they were last year.
Yeah, for sure, and that's really going to help, obviously, with Nathan Sobey with the ball in his hands a lot, because he really loves to push the tempo. So that's going to help his game, and that's going to help everybody else's. And when you get shooters on the wings like Anthony Drimmick, the way he shot the ball today, but also Lamar Patterson's doing the same thing, getting rebounds. This man is an athletic specimen, Tom Dick Boo, so he's going to fit in nicely.
Is he your new favourite player? He's certainly your favourite next star.
It's a bit early on that, but he's making a push. We're 2 weeks in, and we like those bold predictions and going at the early crow. Majuk looked really good for the Wildcats. Robert Franks looks really good in his first 2 games in a Bullets uniform. And this is what I'm talking about. NBL 22 is wide open.
Yep.
And you ask me, is there anyone you can just 100% lock in? You just can't. And not because they're not elitely talented. It's because so many teams have so much of that talent. So that's the reason you can't really lock in just one particular team.
Well, the Brisbane Bullets have certainly given the rest of the competition something to think about to start the NBL Blitz. Winners over Tasmania in the first game. And tonight, winners 100-90. Tomorrow we're back at the NBL Blitz. We've got a doubleheader coming from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. New Zealand and Southeast Melbourne will kick us off at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then at 7:30 p.m. Melbourne will take on the Illawarra Hawks. Halls, nice to see you. We'll see you again soon.
Too easy, mate. Been a pleasure.
On behalf of all of our team, both here and behind the scenes and at Ulverston, thanks for being with us tonight on KO Freebies. We can't wait to see you again tomorrow at 5:30 for a Melbourne doubleheader.